In 1976, a man owned 10% of Apple. He sold it for $800. That stake is now worth over $300 billion. His name is Ron Wayne, and he is one of the least talked about people in the history of American business. Most people know Steve Jobs. Most people know Steve Wozniak. Almost nobody knows the third co-founder of Apple, the one who walked away. Ron Wayne was 41 years old when Jobs and Wozniak asked him to join them. He was the adult in the room, the experienced one. He had already started and lost a company before. He knew what financial risk felt like from the inside. He drew Apple's first logo. He wrote Apple's first partnership agreement by hand. He was there at the very beginning of one of the greatest companies ever built. And after 12 days, he decided he wanted out. The reason was not complicated. Jobs was planning to take on significant debt to fund the first order of Apple computers. The partnership agreement meant all three founders were personally liable. If Apple failed, Ron Wayne would owe money he did not have. He had been through business failure before. He did not want to go through it again. So he sold his 10% share back to Jobs and Wozniak for $800. A few weeks later, he received an additional $1,500 to relinquish any future claims. Total payout for 10% of Apple, $2,300. Apple went on to become the first company in American history worth $1 trillion. Then $2 trillion, then $3 trillion. Ron Wayne's 10% of $3 trillion. $300 billion, gone for $2,300. Here is the part of this story that most people find impossible to process. Ron Wayne has said in interviews that he does not regret his decision. He has said that, given the information he had at the time and his personal financial situation, he made the right choice for himself. He could not have known what Apple would become. Nobody could. Jobs himself did not know Apple would become what it became. Wayne was making a rational decision based on real risk with real consequences. He was protecting himself. He just happened to be protecting himself from the greatest wealth creation opportunity in the history of American business. He is in his late 80s now. He lives modestly in Nevada. He sells stamps and rare coins. He says he sleeps fine. And maybe that is the most important part of this story. Not the $300 billion he walked away from, but the fact that two people looked at the same opportunity, in the same room at the same moment. One saw a risk he could not afford. The other saw a future he could not stop believing in. Same information, same moment. Two completely different decisions. One of those decisions is now in every business school textbook on earth. Would you have stayed or walked away? Comment below. Follow for more stories about the moments that separated extraordinary wealth from an ordinary life.